Oh, that's right. It is Monday, and we are mic'd up with Coach Mo. Again, like usual, couldn't find a co-host, so I guess we have a stifled co-host now. My brother Alfredo. What's happening, my brother?
Coach Mo, how are you doing this Monday?
Yeah. Um, it's one of those things, right? That I always want to wait till the show to get the things out in the air and open. I did want to let you know that I did hear back from the GCSN. I am going to have a meeting tomorrow with them at 10 a.m. We are
Nice.
going to discuss everything that we have been discussing, myself and you, right? I actually even talked a little bit about our guests that we're going to have on today. That they come highly recommended by our guests. So yeah, he reached out today. He let me know that sorry for the delay, but all good, all good. So get ready because there might be something coming. Well, let me just tell you about what the email said, that he is very interested in doing some stuff in Pinellas County as well. So I throw out
Oh,
your
awesome.
name, and hopefully we can get that you know going there, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, but obviously that's the first thing. So I wanted to say that on air. I didn't want to tell you before the show was airing about that. So we might have some new things coming right up the pipeline. Our guest actually had a chance to do some stuff with the Hernando County stuff there as well with Media Day. So we'll hear from him just a little bit in a little bit. We do want to talk middle school really quick. I do want to tell you a little bit about the middle school game. We did go up to South Sumter last week on Tuesday. A disappointing loss, 48-12. Thankfully, the loss doesn't really go much against us because it's out of the county. So we're still 4-0 in the county. We have another game tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. We're playing against Fox
Right.
Chapel Middle School, and we'll see how it goes to run for back-to-back championships. So, yeah. So I'm excited about it. We had everybody hurt though. That's the only thing that sucked about last week. Everybody started getting hurt, and yeah, man, it was the first half ended up it was at 12-6, and then right before halftime, they score with like less than a minute left in the game. And that just broke our back, man. It was 20-6 going into halftime. We get it to, we get the kickoff back, and we fumble it. They get it back. They score. They kick off. We fumble it again on the kickoff, and they get it back, and they score again. So at that point, we were just hanging our heads and things like that. But we're looking to make a big bounce back tomorrow against Fox. We'll bring that up next week. And by the way, those who have been true to watching the show, my brother is now a integral part of this Mic'd Up Monday, and he's going to have his own segment starting next week. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball, right? I know we're in the midst of the playoffs right now,
Yes.
so we're going
Yes.
to do a little baseball talk next week. All right, and that's all I got for middle school. This is the part of the show where everybody likes the most, is when we bring our guests on, right? And without any further ado, let me introduce to you all a good buddy of mine. I've known him for a very long time. We've done some semi-pro stuff together, but it's none other than my buddy Andy. What's happening, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Alvaro? Thanks for having me on tonight.
Uh, Hey, man, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm glad that you were able to make it. I know that you've never officially met my brother in life, but how you say in 2025 we can just meet online, right? Um, but yeah, so
Yeah.
I have Andy on the show today.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. So I brought Andy on the show today because there's a part in our show that we talk about high school football, and I know that you have a big part, in Rivals.com. You write for high school. So tell the folks at home, like, what do you actually do?
Well, when it comes to high school, especially high school football in the country, I think the first thing people are kind of wondering when I say that, they're like, well, how do you do that? They're like, obviously, how do you do that? 50 states. Because obviously, there's some people find a specific region, pretty hard to cover. Nonetheless, pretty hard to cover. Nonetheless, covering every state, covering every state, and trying to follow the beat around the country. I think it's more so just knowing, kind of like who the top teams are, but trying to monitor. I mean, we have social media now. I feel like news is at the tip of our fingers, and we all kind of follow writers from across the country that are obviously on the beat, in their respective regions. From a national level, I mean, it's kind of just national level. Looking at when you look at high school football, you're looking at high school football. I mean, you're looking at coast to coast, and you're looking at the top teams in every state. You're looking at the top teams, but you're also looking for interesting. Statistics and and records being set. I think it was last week. Williston High School's head coach became the first head coach in history. To win 200 games. Two different states. Robbie Pruitt out of he won 200 games in Georgia already. Just accomplished winning 200 in Florida. So to me, there's really cool. So to me, there's factoids like that every year that happen. I mean, there's every year records that are set. I mean, winning streaks that are going on. I think the longest winning streak currently in high school football. I think the longest winning streak team over in Ohio called Marion Local. And I think over in Ohio called I think it's like 70 or 80 games running right now. And you just 70 or 80 games running. When's that? Where's that game? Where's that game where they're going to be challenged? Where's that game? Where's that game where they're going to be challenged? Come to a halt. That streak might come to a. It's a lot. It really. It's a lot. It really is just surfing. A lot of talking to people all over the country. People wouldn't believe. People. I've talked to people in Alabama, Georgia, Maryland, Maryland states, California, Nevada, Arizona. A lot of networking and just trying to keep up with the beat and just trying to keep up with the beat. I don't look at it any different than I don't look at it any different than on a national level. If you're covering college football on all the national teams, you're looking at the NFL, you're looking at all 32 teams, and in the NFL, you're looking at all 32 teams. I think high school football. So I think high school. Try not to make it all. I don't know what the number is of high school. I don't know what the number is of high school football teams in the country. Crazy, and there's no way I can know every single team. There's no way I can know every single team. I mean, at least from a national perspective. I feel like I have a pretty good beat on it. I feel like I have a pretty good beat on it. As good as anyone.
That's awesome, man. Here's what I'll tell you is I know that you were talking about like streaks and stuff. I will tell you, when I was in high school, my high school team actually broke a streak that was going on in Pinellas County, and that was Northeast. They were on a 27-game winning streak, and we were the streak slayers on there. So I just thought I'd throw that little tidbit of out there for you.
Absolutely. I mean, right there, like you said, right there. Like it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's those fun.
When he was talking about that streak in Ohio,
that's what I thought.
That's what I thought. The first thing I thought was
that Northeast streak from the 90s
that you guys broke.
in week one at Countryside is when they lost.
A couple of perfect seasons. They were trying to get to 30 consecutive games. You guys beat them at Countryside in week one.
Yeah, I remember having a pick six in that game to really seal the deal, which was pretty awesome. But and I didn't play defense much, right? I only played when somebody was hurt or somebody needed a breather. They're like, "Hey, go in and play corner," because at 5'5" corners, you don't see them doing well or too well these days. But no, so. I brought in a heavy hitter in Andy here, officially the first official guest of Mic'd Up Monday. So I would like to extend that out to you, Andy. If you ever want to come on and share some news or something that's breaking, you're more than welcome to ever come on the show, and I'll extend that out to you whenever you want to do that. All right. But we do talk high school football here. We're going to talk Tampa Bay area. I'll run down the scores. Alfredo or Andy, anybody stop me when they want to talk about a specific game or something that you think you'd find interesting about these games. We'll start off with Miami Killian against Tampa Catholic. They won 32-17. We have Forest losing to Wesley Chapel 14-7. Hernando beat Pasco 27-18. Blake 58, King 0. Okay, they blanked them.
Wow.
We got well, listen, Lakeland, that we've been to that stadium. Andy, you know that stadium very well. We've been there at the Lakeland Stadium. They won 41-9. 5A won 13-0 against Westport. Andy, I was going to ask you, what do you know about Westport? I've never heard of them.
Well, when we made our picks on the Pasco County football on Twitter last week, I'm gonna have to say I don't know because I picked Westport to win the game. And 5A obviously winning. I know the Falcons have a really good running back. Barry Brown, really nice season. Westport, I mean. I was just judging them based on their schedule. I mean, played a really tough schedule to start. When I saw teams like Lecanto, Denellen, there were a couple others that I was like, 5A hasn't played any teams like that. But obviously Westport's on the losing end because they can't find a way to score points. So you do have to find the end zone a couple times if you're gonna try to win a game. So kudos to 5A. I don't really know too much about Westport other than kind of looking at that schedule and saying. They've played some teams tough. Just haven't been able to come out on the winning end.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the running back for 5A. Alfredo had that he was talking about a couple of weeks ago. He's fantastic. He was telling us some stats about that guy. He's just nuts over there, and I'm just glad that that a Pasco County team could win. Right, that's the big thing. Alonzo beat Steinbrenner 31-10. Jefferson beat Middleton 63-0. Dunellen won 33-22. Chamberlain blanked Lato 36-0. Jesuit, of course, won 56-7. Spoto won 49-0. Let's see, any other good games that we're talking about here? CCC lost to Cardinal Mooney. I saw that. That was crazy, right?
Cardinal Mooney's great. They're in a 3-team district. They're in 2A9. Along with Lakewood and Tarpon Springs. And there's a big game coming up there between Lakewood and Cardinal Mooney in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a big one because the Lakewood Spartans, I think, because I cover mostly Pinellas County schools, among the public schools, Lakewood is the best team. Of course, you have CCC, you have St. Pete Catholic, you have some of the other small Christian schools who are pretty good as well. But Lakewood, Clearwater, East Lake, they are right now the top probably 3 teams in Pinellas County among the public schools. And I'll get a chance to see Lakewood in a couple of weeks, and they need to be able to stop Gibbs' running attack in the game that I'm going to do in a couple of Fridays. Because Gibbs is a really good running backs, including the top rusher in Pinellas County. But Lakewood, how about that comeback they had against Boca this past week? They were down 14-7 at halftime, and they exploded in the second half. Aiden Wallace is one of the best quarterbacks running and throwing the football. He scored, I think, 4 touchdowns on the ground as a rusher. He's thrown for a lot more. He and Roberts, the top wide receiver for Lakewood, combination. Great combination. They're the team to watch among the public schools. Coming out of that 2A9.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. Yeah, I think that's going to be. Lakewood's going to have their hand. Oh. I was just going to say Lakewood, I think, is going to have their hands full with Cardinal Mooney. Cardinal Mooney is, to me, the prohibitive favorite to win Florida's Class 2A classification. When you're looking at South Suncoast teams, they're stacked. They got Elijah Golden. He's a Notre Dame commit. Kid I really like that. He's not committed anywhere, but got to see him at a practice in the spring. And, I kind of just fell in love with his game. Just really looking at his size. This Davin Davidson kid, he's a junior. He's like 6'6", 200, probably like 15, 20 pounds. Just rocket arm. Is really playing just some high level football this season for Mooney, already over 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, and their schedule. I mean, I think it prepares them for anybody that is like a Lakewood. Playing Cherry Creek out of Colorado. I mean, that's their state's like best team. So I mean,
Right.
for Cardinal Mooney, yeah, that's their one loss, but I kind of stop folks and say, hold on, that's Colorado's best team. I know people probably like Colorado, they don't play no football compared to Florida, but that's where I'm like, Florida has an atrocious record this year against out-of-state teams. I mean, I think it was at the beginning of the season or first few weeks. I mean, Florida was like, I want to say like 10-31 or something against out-of-state teams. I mean, it was a really bad record. So that's why I'm like, Mooney's they're tough. They're tough for anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Andy, and I was gonna ask you. I know that you're a golf alumni, right?
Yep.
I'd heard, and I don't know if you were the one that told me. Somebody told me that golf redid their stadium or or how it looks, or the dimensions of it, or what where it is. Have you been able to go to the stadium yet? And if you have any insight on that Sun Lake win that they had by 3 the other day.
I have. It's been redone for a bit. I don't know exactly when they tore down the original grandstands that were brick and mortar. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago they decided. I believe it was because it was just structurally unsafe. Like it wasn't. I believe they had some middle school games even, and they had to tape it all off. Like fans had to sit on the other side. They just couldn't like safely put people in the stands. So they obviously in conjunction with the with Pasco County School, the district school board, they decided to tear down the I'd say the however old I don't know how old those grandstands are, but I mean it was a staple, right? Of Buccaneer football. You walked up and you saw I think it was like class of 1976, desolate little stadium. And to me, that was like a cool thing whenever you walk up, but now it's much smaller home grandstands. I mean, more of your like traditional, what you would see around Pasco County when it comes to kind of the, because like if you looked at Sun Lake and Wiregrass and Anklo, I mean, they were like, probably the same just makeup when they were putting those together. They're like, we're gonna have the same grandstands, they're gonna look exactly the same, the press box will be the same, just different colors. Like not a lot of thought with it, which kind of disappoints me because I'm like somebody who likes going to a high school stadium and seeing something that looks kind of old school. So seeing something that's just like the same as it's like it takes so much air out of it. It's like, man, what the heck? But golf soccer game, I mean, kind of played out the way I thought. I thought both teams are pretty like evenly matched. I didn't think the way golf and Sun Lake had been playing going into that game, I said there's no way you could sit here with a straight face and say this team's gonna like just romp the other. They're both like really, I don't know. I don't want to say mirror images, but they're both going into that game needing that win to kind of go get through the rest, the second half of the season and try to get some momentum. And golf winning that game, from what I understood, they were up by like 10 at one point. I think it was like 28-18, and Sun Lake was able to get a touchdown to get within 3. So they were down double digits, made it interesting, and just came up short. And I mean, looking at Sun Lake's rest of their schedule, I mean, they have the Butter Bowl against Land O'Lakes this week. That's always a tough game. Pretty good game, no matter what their records are. So I think Sun Lake still has a chance at, getting a win that could really help catapult them through the rest of the season. But for golf, I kind of see it as a game that could really help them. I mean, to me, their ceiling is 7-3 right now. They're sitting at 3-3 with 4 games to go, and there isn't a game that I don't think that golf can't win. Or there's not that. There's a lot of high school schedules where you look at the schedule and you're just like, they can't win that game.
Right.
For golf, they don't have that. They don't have that on their schedule. Like every game is a winnable game. Like Sun Lake. I mean, they play Mitchell. I'd go out on a limb and say I don't think that against Mitchell. I get pretty like animated when we do our Pasco County because it's kind of like it's fun. We bring on it's Coach Bill Browning, the longtime head coach at Sun Lake, and then Tom Ketchum. He's actually the gentleman who runs Pasco County football on Twitter. A lot of people think I'm Pasco County football. I'm like, no, I can't manage that account and my own account. I mean, it's way too much. But yeah, that was a heck of a game, golf in Sun Lake. That probably was arguably the best game out of Pasco County.
I was thinking, that was a homecoming for Coach Fulmer, right? So I thought that was going to be an interesting game all the way around. I mean, if you ask me, I follow Pinellas, Pasco, and Hernando now, but I don't know, man. I think Land O'Lakes looks super strong, especially how they played Mitchell, and they almost beat them. Like it was a crazy game. I think Land O'Lakes is going to come out on top of that one for sure, in my opinion. But also, Mitchell had a game against River Ridge this past week at home, and they won 37-21. So that was interesting as well. I think, obviously, me being a Countryside alum and watching River Ridge pound us a couple weeks ago, seeing that game against Mitchell, I was like, oh boy. So it was good to see somebody get humbled, I think, in my opinion. But Alfredo, anything on the Mitchell River Ridge game?
I don't know those teams very well, but what I was going to say about golf is that they have a big game this week against Countryside. It's at Countryside. It's a district game for 4A10, and it's Countryside's homecoming. And it's going to be difficult. I mean, you feel like Clearwater and River Ridge are the top 2 teams in that district, and I think they firmly will be going into the playoffs. But, I mean, like Andy said, golf can be Countryside. It could be an upset. I mean, I know Cam Waddington is a good quarterback, and AJ brought him in to change the the way that they played the wing tee last year. They actually have a true quarterback, and Zion Poole on defense. He's been one of the best players in Pinellas County. So that's going to be something that I think golf will have to contend with at Countryside this week. And of course, when they play against River Ridge, who to me, them and Clearwater are the top 2 teams in that district.
Absolutely. Now, what about the Pinellas Park Tarpon game? That was a 38-6 victory for Pinellas Park. That kind of surprised me, at least. What did you think?
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I saw Pinellas Park at the beginning of the year against Largo, and they beat them in a very tight ball game. And then I've seen Largo again a couple of weeks later, and they've changed things up. They have a new quarterback now, a freshman, who started and again played well against Palm Harbor. Pinellas Park's quarterback is Frankie Cherry, and I mean, they don't impress me very much. I mean, Tarpon Springs is actually down again, and they're actually more even than you would think. But it's one of those things. They're not in the same district, so that game was not as meaningful to me. But Pinellas Park, they play in that 5A9 against Manatee and Braden Rivers, so they have their handful against those teams. You go outside of the county, unfortunately, in Pinellas County, and they're inferior to the majority of teams outside the county. You don't have to go very far, and Pinellas County seems to struggle when they go out of the county a lot. And when you have a team like Pinellas Park, whose other 2 district teams are outside the county, they just seem to struggle, and it's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, I think that it's like the Clearwater, right? Clearwater Lake Wales, where they lost, right? I mean, Clearwater was, I thought, a favorite in that game, but they ended up losing 33-27, so at home, right? So what was your thought on that game? Andy, I'll let Andy take that one if you know anything about that game.
Clearwater Lake Wales. I mean, for me, I'll try to like talk more about the county as a whole, because some of the games it's hard to really gauge Pinellas County now compared to like years ago, where you had seemingly powerhouses that were making their way, like, winning district titles and making deep runs. I don't think you quite have that anymore. I mean, you see CCC like always getting to the 1A state final and then getting their kind of like annual whooping by Sean Madonna. So
right.
It's
right.
And I got all the respect in the world for Coach Harvey and his guys. So I say that with, he knows he'd probably listen and use this as like something motivational for the Marauders, which I get. These days you got to use anything you can get to get the kids motivated. But I mean, right now Pinellas County is clear.
Did we lose Andy?
Yeah, it looks like there we go. Sorry, we lost
from Lakeland, and yeah, I saw the connection went lost. Lake Wales lost their starting quarterback to start the season, and before anything ever got going, before week 1, so they ended up having to start a freshman. And they have some talent. I mean, they got some talent at the wide receiver position, and
I think we lost Andy again.
Well, Lake Wales won a state championship in Polk County. Just was it last year or the year before that? And I got a chance to see them play against Davenport a couple of years ago, and they were pretty good.
Yeah. Andy's back, I think.
Yep. Lake Wales beating Clearwater to me wasn't so much of a surprise. Clearwater's been kind of like a hot and cold team this year. I mean, they have the talent. You look at, Jalen White, the Charlotte commit, Samuel Rosenbaugh. He's a stud up front end on the offensive line. And you would think with the talent that Thor Joswiak and that staff have, like Clearwater could maybe be a serious contender in that region. With you got Jesuit, you got Port Charlotte, you got Naples and Dunbar. I mean, it's a really tough region. To me, like losing to Lake Wales, it really just kind of confirms they're going to go like maybe in the first round. If they get to the second round, I mean, I'd be happy if I was Coach Thor and those guys, but they're not going to, based on like a loss like that, you're not going to beat Will Griffin and Jesuit. You're not going to beat Port Charlotte with Logan Flaherty and those guys. I mean, a freshman quarterback at Lake Wales, I mean, he's not bad, but I mean, he's not those guys that I just aforementioned. So I think just Pinellas County as a whole, like I heard you talking about Tarpon Springs and the Pinellas Park game. To me, like Tarpon has scored 40 points since week 1. They scored 41 against Seminole. They scored 40 since that time. So they've gone 6 straight games. They've been rudderless. Eastlake's been a surprise to me when I look at the area, like looking at Pinellas County.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't think Eastlake was going to be much of, anything, when you looked at last season. But it seems like, Coach Hudson has those guys playing some really good football. I believe it's Eli Million. Yeah, I got to see him in some passing camps, and I mean, he looked really good. But I'm not the big 7-on-7 guy. I really hate watching 7-on-7 and then walking away like, oh my gosh, that team looks so great. Because to me, you need the components of the offensive and defensive lines. Like, I'd like to see some linebackers hitting people. Like, I'd like to see guys actually, I don't know, having contact, because that is what the sport is. It's contact. So you can I heard a guy out west say it. You could major in 7-on-7 and minor in tackling football, and you show me not a really good team. So I think you need to major in tackling and minor in 7-on-7, not the other way around. And it seems like a lot of people they think passing, just 7-on-7 is like that's the way to become a really good football team. And it's like, no. I mean, I think it's a part of it, but you know.
I agree with what you're saying with East. Like, I think they have been a surprise, but I think, like you said, it's more than the offense. And I saw Eli Millian play. He looked very comfortable against Tarpon Springs in that annual rivalry game that I got a chance to see. But they also have Brian Ford, who's a great running back. They have Jeremiah Cooper, who's a fantastic receiver. And those three guys have been playing well against the competition that they've had, right? The big game this week with Palm Harbor, I think, is going to decide who is going to make the playoffs in that district, because Largo already beat Palm Harbor, and obviously Steinbrenner is the worst team. They're the doormat of that district. So we don't even talk about Steinbrenner very much because they're not that good. So it's really between Largo, Palm Harbor, and Eastlake. I think it's going to be Largo and the winner of this Eastlake Palm Harbor game, right? Because if Palm Harbor loses to Eastlake, I think they're done for the year. So that's going to be a fantastic game up in Palm Harbor this Friday night.
Yeah, and
I don't know. Palm Harbor has been such a I don't know. They're such a weird team every year. I mean, it's like you want to believe they're kind of more towards being a few games over 500. But I mean, this team being even at 3-3, it's kind of similar story with Largo.
Right.
I mean, if anything, a lot of inconsistencies just within that district. I mean, the one thing I do like about what Eastlake did is playing Camden County at the beginning. I got to see them. I mean, Camden County is you throw them against most of the teams in the Tampa Bay area, and they're probably going to beat a good majority of them, outside of maybe like an Armwood or a Jesuit.
Right.
So to me, like, to go up there to Kingsland, Georgia, 57-38. I mean, I don't know. I'd imagine it wasn't like they scored 57 and then they just took the foot off the gas pedal and let them score 38.
Right.
Eastlake being able to go up there in that kind of hostile environment and be able to come within 19 of one of the top South Georgia teams, I mean, to me, kind of speaks a little bit more to, like, they should be able to play any one of these teams down the stretch that they got left. Obviously, you got Palm Harbor, Clearwater, Largo, Countryside at the very end. I mean, to me, outside of the Clearwater game, I mean, those other three games, very winnable for them for what they've already
absolutely
faced. Mitchell
the biggest thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, they surprised me beating Mitchell 30-8.
Dominant win. I mean, it wasn't even like some fluke, like 1-point win. When I heard the score and somebody's like, "Oh, it's 30-8 Eastlake," I was like, "What?" Like, what happened?
Exactly.
Like, Caden Thomas not play? Like, I figured, Mitchell would show up. I mean, Mitchell's been a weird team. I know they lost a running back to a CCC, so obviously lost a little bit of firepower offensively. But to me, like, the adjustment that I thought they would make is, hey, we got to put everything on our quarterback and see what he can, see if he can lead us to the promised land. And, he's had a little bit of problems with, not turning over the football. He's already thrown 9 interceptions this season. So to me, on the high school level, when you only got 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, that's not a good thing. I mean, Coach Mo could attest. I mean,
it's not a good ratio.
Love. I mean, you're not loving that. You're like, I want you to be more like Baker Mayfield, who's got like 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. You're like, okay, I like that. I like
not
that.
Jameis Winston,
not
right?
10 and 9. That's a
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, exactly. Or I mean, now and or like a Geno Smith number. Actually, be less on the touchdowns, more in interceptions.
Terrible.
DJ Lagway.
Also, oh man, let's not talk. We haven't got there yet. Listen, Andy, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. I've known you for what now it looks like 16 years now, ever since we started the semi-pro level, right? We are going to have a podcast for the Pirates this year, the Moose and Mo show. That's going to be right around the corner here, with Andy, of course, being one of our guests there for sure. And yeah, man. Where are you going to be this weekend? Are you going to be in Florida this weekend? Are you going to be in Georgia? That's all I see is you out of state all the time. So where are you going to be this weekend so people could see and follow you on X?
I'm actually going to catch a game in Tennessee on Thursday night. It's over in Antioch High School. They have a really good looking quarterback over there that kind of wanted to check out, get some clips of, and just to me, I think getting a feel for things nationally is also getting to see teams in other areas. So that's kind of my reasoning for going around and being the crazy man of seeing all these teams. Because I could sit at a computer and watch NFHS Network, all evening long, but I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of level of being able to see these teams in person that you just can't get by watching it on a live stream on your computer. Getting to see like Mater Dei in person and St. John Bosco like on back-to-back nights felt like it gave me kind of a better idea of how that matchup could go when those two teams meet on Halloween. IMG Academy, getting to see them up in Ocean City, New Jersey, like that was a crazy deal. Just seeing people come to see IMG Academy. They're like I don't want to say they're a circus in a bad way. Like they're like the circus in a way that people want to come. They know they're coming to town and they want to come and watch. They're like, we want to see what these guys are going to do, because they're like, they got all these tricks up their sleeves. They got all these talent, 5, 4, 3-star talent. So New Jersey just packed out that place when IMG was over there. So that was kind of cool to see that. Hey, people will go out and watch a really good high school football game when they know a great team is coming into town. Georgia, I think is. Oh, yes.
So I said, before you go, I wanted to ask you about Bishop Gorman. And a lot of people have said, I've heard a lot of people say that this could be the best team in the country. So, maybe it's an opportunity for you maybe to go out to Vegas and get a chance to watch them, even if you're not a high roller.
Already
have. Oh, awesome. What can you tell us about Bishop Gorman? How good are they?
Well, when I got to see them, they played Mater Dei, and they ended up losing 27-24. Mater Dei kind of had their backs against the wall because they had lost the previous week to Corona Centennial, which they were down 33-7. Mater Dei was to Corona Centennial, so that was kind of a shock around the country when you're looking at scores. When you see them, seeing Mater Dei losing to anyone is shocking enough, but then when you see it like by more than 20 points, you're like, okay, what's going on? Like, is there full moon out? Like, what's going on with the Monarchs? But they needed that game against Bishop Gorman. For Bishop Gorman, if they would have beat them, I think that would have given a lot of people, I think, confidence to say Bishop Gorman is the best team in the country. But my problem with Gorman is after that game, really, I think the following week they played Santa Margarita Catholic, who's coached by former NFLer Carson Palmer. They went out there and won that game. But then after that, they don't play anybody. They play the teams in Nevada. No disrespect to all the Nevada high school football teams, but none of them are anywhere near where Bishop Gorman is. I think last year Bishop Gorman won their state championship by that doesn't tell you between them and it's just such a wide margin. So I'd say that Bishop Gorman, you gotta love Jet Washington. He's a fun player to watch at safety. Mayaka, I want to say his last name wrong, Eugenio. He's a Hawaii commit. Yeah. He played really well. They got a number of guys. I think on that field that night, there probably was over 40 to 50 future Division I level players. So it just kind of gives you an idea of how much talent is on the field. Obviously 22 players at once, but when you're looking at the sidelines, guys who are going to come in, for somebody else, they're probably going to be somebody that's already committed somewhere, or they're a guy that holds a bunch of offers. So I think that's the difference when you're looking at national level teams, because people will be like, well, what's the difference between Mitchell versus those teams? And it's major differences. You got way more talent. The offensive and defense, to me, national teams, when you're looking at the line of scrimmage, that's probably the biggest difference. They could literally just push you around and bully you and play bully ball. And when you're looking at just your regular old high school football team. I mean, you got guys that are like probably 240, 250 playing offensive line. I mean, you're not going to see those size guys on a Bishop Gorman or Mater Dei or St. Francis Academy. Definitely not at IMG. So that's why anytime you see kind of a more normal football team against one of these Titans, it's I guess like, what was it, 2 years ago, River Ridge played Venice, and Venice isn't, I wouldn't say like there with Mater Dei, but I'd say last year's team was pretty close. But it was just like, it was such a mismatch. Like I scratched my head on why River Ridge decided to play that game, because I'm like, you're just asking for it. That's not even App State versus like a Michigan or something. That's like I don't know. That's like Weber International playing like Miami. Like that's not a close game. Not going to happen.
Yeah. So. Well, maybe the stock would go up a little bit for a Bishop Gorman team if they could schedule guys outside of Nevada more, if the discrepancy is so large within the state and not play those weaker teams, and then maybe go out to California and play more teams, or maybe play teams from Florida that are really good. Kind of like what Lakeland did going out to De La Salle. That was pretty impressive to me. Lakeland almost won that game, but like you said earlier, I mean, Florida teams going out of state has been atrocious. And that was one of the closer games, though. I think they lost in like the last minute going out to De La Salle in that game. But I think Bishop Gorman would probably make themselves look better if they schedule better teams outside of Nevada.
Yeah, I think there actually is like some traction, or at least there's some murmurs that they may want to join like California's Trinity League, which is comprised of a lot of those top teams in Southern California. To me, that would be such an interesting dynamic, or just interesting situation to see unfold, because Bishop Gorman is obviously not in California. So it's almost like you're putting together like this little college conference, like a Big Ten or a ACC or SEC. Like now you're just putting teams together because it's like they're like-minded, like-talented programs. So I don't know if that would probably create an idea for teams around the country that are already in powerful conferences in their state to say, well, if you have teams that are, I don't know, if you looked at the Northeast, I know Pennsylvania has some, I think it's their Catholic League, like very, very stout, very strong. And then you could look at neighboring states like, let's just say New York. Like New York has some, teams that could compete. Like I don't know if they could beat them, but I think they could hold their own for a little bit before they'd get beat up. And it's like, what if they joined, one of their conferences that were in a different state, like New Jersey or Pennsylvania? Like if you saw a Cardinal Hayes or Iona Prep or Monsignor Farrell, St. Anthony's, like those are kind of the top teams in New York that, they have talent that, if you're playing against most of these other New York teams, it's like I don't know. I mean, they'd probably be the equivalent of like a Wiki Wachi or Central and this isn't like bad stuff to say about these teams. It's just, that's where the level is in like other states. Like that's teams that would be out there. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know if you know John Yoakum. He was a longtime coach up in the state of Pennsylvania, coached out of Reading, Pennsylvania, and he's a good friend of mine. And he always raves about how good teams are from that state, and how they wish they could actually go out and play, kind of like how some of these teams go across the country and play. Because you don't think of Pennsylvania as a hotbed of high school football, but there are some great teams up there, especially in that Catholic League, like you said.
I think it's a hotbed. They absolutely love the football, Western and Eastern. I mean, to me, St. Joseph's Prep, LaSalle College, Harrisburg. That was, in my crazy travels, I got to go to Harrisburg and watch Harrisburg take on Bishop McDivitt. I mean, that was an incredible atmosphere for a Saturday afternoon game. Just thousands of people coming out to watch football, high school football on a day that would be, you would think, dominated by college football. I think Texas was playing Ohio State, but I guess none of those people cared in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They wanted to see the two city teams play each other. So, yeah, I totally believe that Pennsylvania, New Jersey, those are two very strong football states. Maryland, I think, is underrated. St. Francis Academy obviously dominates the state because of their national prowess, but I think there's some other teams like Archbishop Spalding, McDonough. Good Council, even though they've got thumped a couple times against like other national competition, but I mean, there's so many good teams other than, to me, like, we can talk about all the teams out of Florida and Georgia and California and Texas and Alabama, but to me, these are teams we could talk about ad nauseum because it's like the same old guys, walking into the bar in a sense. It's like there are other teams in my eyes that can make some noise, and the only thing that stinks is we don't get to ever see these matchups. Like something I see when I'm doing the national rankings is there's a team out of Oklahoma based on the Massey ratings that Rivals uses, and they just got ranked number 1 for the second consecutive week, and everybody's like really hard on this Bixby team. They're called the Bixby Spartans, and now this isn't a team I don't think I'll get to see actually play in person, but I did get to watch some film on them. Very unorthodox team. I mean, they will go for it on their side of the field on like a 4th and 8. I mean, I don't think they really like punting the ball, period. They are trying to put up points at a kind of a fast and furious rate. I think they scored 81 last week, and the week before they scored 66. They're like, yeah, it is like a scoring machine type of team. Now, Oklahoma and Texas football, what's the gap there? I don't know. I would love to see Bixby play like a Duncanville or one of these like perennial powers out of Texas, because I think that would give people kind of an idea of where is Oklahoma high school versus the rest of the country, which it's hard to even gauge where Texas is at because their top teams don't really try to go outside of the Lone Star State. They try to stay within those state boundaries. So that's the thing. You can't really make any of these teams do anything. It's kind of everyone's challenging themselves. Like Bishop Gorman, like you said, they're going out, and I think that a couple years in a row they went down to Florida and played in the Broward County Classic, and they tested themselves. And I tip my hat to like St. John Bosco and Mater Dei for traveling thousands of miles down to Florida to go play. Even though for Bosco this year it was Manatee, which I would have liked to see in St. John Bosco versus last year's Manatee team. This year's is not the same as last year's like state championship contending team. But yeah, tons of talent all around the country, tons of great teams that you'd love to see these dream matchups. It's just you only have so many games, and schools only have so much money they can spend on travel.
And another place that you don't think about a lot is recently Michigan, the state of Michigan. They've had guys come out of there that have been really good, like Bryce Underwood, who plays at Michigan, went to Belleville. You have CJ Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson, who plays at Notre Dame. He went to Saline High School, played for the Yellow Jackets up there. Guys like Dante Moore, right now, one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now in college at Oregon. He went to Martin Luther King out of Detroit. So Michigan is producing a lot of pretty good talent too.
Absolutely. I mean, they have Cass Tech over there. They got a really good sophomore quarterback, Donald Tabarin. That's I believe a 3 or 4 star kid. And Detroit Central Catholic is another one. I mean, there's a lot of great teams that are up in that Great Lakes area as well. When you're looking at like Ohio and Michigan, I mean, I think Ohio gets slept on just because they haven't really had a team that's like right in there in the national rankings. But to me, it is so hard to like if I just put my own together and said here are the teams. I mean, it's like you want to look at teams' totality of their work. I feel like we get very caught up in historical context, like we're only putting in the teams we know, and that's based on what they did last year. Like when I circle it back to like North Suncoast, we put Mitchell and Wiregrass and some of these teams at the top just because perennially, they're good. Like, right. But think about the day and age we're in now where transfers happen at breakneck speed. Right. Coaching changes happen now more so than they ever did, because you used to have head coaches be at schools for, I don't know, decades. And now it's like you'd be happy if a coach was there more than a couple years, just because, guys aren't staying around like they used to. So it's like looking at it like that, on the national level, just there's great teams everywhere. It's just how to actually have, like, some people are like, what if high school had its own playoff? And it's like, how would you do that? Like, you can't do a college football playoff. You're not going to bring 16 of the top teams, and everyone has their own opinion who those 16 teams are. Everyone gets mad at the college football playoff already for how that works out. So it's like, how would you do that? It would be unbelievable. I think the easy thing is just say, hey, let the computers figure it out, and then we'll just go and cover it and watch it, but to me, sometimes, like the FHSAA right now, they have their rankings, and I looked at their rankings here earlier this week or last week, and I couldn't believe it. St. Thomas Aquinas ranked number 83 in the state by the FHSAA.
That's crazy.
I was like, there's no way on God's green earth that there's 82 teams in the state of Florida better than St. Thomas Aquinas. There is maybe one team that's better than St. Thomas Aquinas, and that is the team that resides out of Bradenton, Florida, called the IMG Academy of Centers. Actually, I think that would be a great game, IMG versus St. Thomas Aquinas, which they play on Wednesday. St. Thomas does in London against the NFL Academy. So that's going to be interesting to watch over at Tottenham Stadium. So that's going to be a cool game.
One of the best high school football games I ever saw was the St. Thomas Aquinas against Bradenton Southeast game. This was a playoff game. We're talking maybe almost 20 years ago at this point. But, the atmosphere at Brian Piccolo Stadium is like unmatched, it's one of the coolest places to watch a high school football game. And it's not like you don't go there and you say, oh my God, this is a fantastic edifice. Like, this thing wows you. No, it's just like a regular high school football stadium, but they're so good all the time. And they're just, like I said, perennially one of the best teams in the state. And it's one of the better atmospheres, I think, down in that area in Fort Lauderdale to watch a football game.
Yeah, I'm sure we could probably go on for a whole nother hour. Like great places to watch a high school football game. I love atmospheres. Yeah. I'm a vibe guy. Like, to me, when I walk in somewhere, like the best vibe, and this is probably like my last thing, and I gotta run. But last year got a chance. I think it was like right at the end of October. Got to see the Wintersville Classic between Lowndes and Valdosta.
Ooh,
unbelievable atmosphere. I got there. And I'm the guy that's shown up like maybe 30 minutes before kickoff. But I was told, don't do that. Number one, for that game, they're like, you need to be there well over an hour before, which I was. I think I was there like an hour and a half early. And I show up. The parking lot is like packed out. They have people tailgating, cooking, grilling, Mm-hmm. They had all kinds of things going on. They had what is it? The hack sack game, whatever,
Cornhole.
Well, there you go. Like I don't play that, so I'm like, I don't know what they're doing over there. But it was crazy. Like, they had, I think they announced like it was like over 15,000 people in attendance. And they have the stadium where they have the flickering lights. And then, you feel like you're at a Minnesota Vikings game when you're at Lowndes, because when they score a touchdown, the lights dim off, everything becomes red, and you hear the Viking horn go off, like, and you're like, holy crap, this is it's like I'm in Minnesota or something. Like, this is
you can hear that out on I-75 when you're driving by the stadium there. It's a beautiful place. When I used to work for Florida Tech doing their games on the radio, we actually had a game up at Valdosta. And that was the place. Lowndes High School is where we did our walkthrough. and I got a chance to actually walk on that stadium with nobody there, obviously, so the atmosphere is different. But man, yeah, that place is beautiful. I loved being in there.
Concrete Palace. That's what they call it. The Concrete Palace.
Hey, Andy, I know you got to run, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And go follow Andy on all of his socials, man. Andy is a great dude. I've known you for a long time, and you are welcome on the show whenever you want. If there's anything that you want to talk about, let me know. We will squeeze you in at whatever time you want. I know you got to run, man, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, dude. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank both of you and Alfredo. Great work by you and Alvaro doing the show. Love to come back on and talk more high school football. I feel like we could absolutely. This probably could go on like 2 or 3 hours.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, Andy. Take care, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Take care.
Oh man,
All right.
Dude, that's crazy. See, I told you, Andy knows so much
That was
about
awesome.
just everything, right?
Boy, he knows a lot about high school football.
It's crazy.
I thought I knew a lot about high school football. Oh my goodness. I thought I knew a lot about high school football. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I told you. The dude knows.
But he's right about that stadium.
Everything.
But he's right about that Lowndes stadium. Vikings? Lowndes? Oh my god. The Lowndes Vikings? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
Awesome. The place is awesome.
I know that I've been to Valdosta. We played a game at
right
Valdosta State. Remember that place?
Yeah, yes, I do remember that place. And it's right across the border, right? When you get from Florida into Georgia, it's maybe 10 or 12 miles into the city because Valdosta is right there. And that game that he's talking about is a huge rivalry because everybody knows each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Lowndes, the city of Valdosta is in Lowndes County. So, yeah. I mean, these are two teams that are in the city of Valdosta city limits. And so, yeah, I mean, I got a chance to cover a game this past week, which I call a backyard brawl, nowhere near as good as the Lowndes versus Valdosta game, you know, when you talk about Osceola and Seminole. But, oh, my gosh, I mean, yeah, everybody knows each other, and it's great to have those kind of rivalries with the schools so close by, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dude, we spent a lot of time talking about high school football, which is awesome, and I absolutely love it.
Great.
I think we are just going to skip NFL this week, but I do want to really talk about the NCAA.
College football.
Yeah. So
right.
Check out this new graphic that I made. I think I'm breaking up a little bit. I do have to unplug really quick, but check out this new graphic that I made, okay?
Yeah. The top 20? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. So, yeah, I mean, we'll but two teams that were in the top 10 completely drop out of the poll. How often does that happen? I mean, you had Penn State and Texas, both of them ranked in the top 10. Both of them lost, and they're out. And last week, remember, we said, watch out because that Florida-Texas game could be an upset. And what ends up happening?
I told you.
Yeah, and it happened. And now everybody loves Billy Napier. It's on a week-by-week basis with him. You know, they'll probably lose next week against Texas A&M, and they'll hate him again, and they'll want him to get fired. But right now, they love Billy Napier because he beat Texas and Steve Sarkisian.
Listen, okay, so I don't understand the ranking system. It doesn't make any sense. I can't believe that they're putting USF over Florida State because we lost to Miami by what, 6, 8? What was it? 8?
Yeah, well, they came back. Yeah, I mean, they came back and made it a little closer at the end, but the game was a blowout at one point. It was like 28-3 at one point, wasn't it?
Sure. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Miami's out of this world good. They're great. There's nothing to take away from Miami. But again, losing by 6 to the number 3 at that point ranked team, and then get booted to 25th below USF.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
USF beat Florida. Come on, dude, this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the top 20. As you can see, a lot of teams moved up 5 spots. Missouri, Michigan, Notre Dame, Illinois, BYU, and Virginia all moved up 5 spots. Vanderbilt went down by 4. And then LSU went up 2, Tennessee went up 3, Georgia Tech went up 4. So everybody kind of moved around. And
the rankings, I agree. Like, I know Virginia's 19th, but I don't think Virginia's better than Florida State. I know they beat them, but they're not better than them. Come on. If they played 9 out of 10 times, I think Florida State wins 9 out of 10 times, you know?
I agree. Illinois played well, I think. Alabama beating Vanderbilt. I mean, like I said, I knew that was going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, of course, romped Minnesota. Right? Here's one that I was blown away by, was the Cincinnati-Iowa State game.
Right.
That one, to me, was a surprise.
It was, but then if you look a little bit deeper, Iowa State was without its top 2 cornerbacks in this game. And so it was already going to be hard. So they had a good game plan, Cincinnati, coming into this game. Just throw it to those backup guys. I mean, they hadn't played very much. No, I'm serious. But they had a good game plan and it worked. And Iowa State even did keep it close, but they were without their 2 top corners. I mean, it's hard to go into any game and try to win, against, and Cincinnati's offense is not bad. But yes, Iowa State's a better team. It's just that they just unfortunately had an injury problem on defense.
But another thing that I just don't understand about, like, the ranking system, right? Like, how is it that Oregon has a bye week and they go down a spot?
Because Miami won. It happens
to me. It doesn't make sense.
It happened.
Oregon would beat Miami, if you ask me. I think that they're a better all-around team than Miami.
I hope so.
We'll see, right? We'll see. It's early. It's too early. Think about it. Okay, so yes, Virginia beat us, right? But they also beat Louisville 30-27. Also, an unranked Louisville. Get out of here! There's no way Florida State's 25th. I'm a little biased, of course, but I don't think so.
Well, but what really screws Florida State now is that they've lost consecutive conference games.
Yeah,
and that could come back to haunt them come playoff time. Kind of like they just missed out last year. That could be the case again because they probably won't play for the ACC championship now.
No, and if you look at the Florida State team right now and how the Florida team is playing right now, I think Florida beats Florida State right now anyway. So I don't think they'll make it to the playoffs, to be honest with you.
It's not always who you play, but it's when you play them. I heard Jim Leland used to say this all the time in baseball. You could play the worst team, but if they're on a hot streak, I mean, you catch them at the bad time, they'll whip up on you.
Yeah.
And so that's a very true thing. And I think that's one of those situations right now with Florida and Florida State.
Yeah, I mean the one team at least in the top 10 that's surprised me the most out of all of those that are in the top, other than Indiana, which I knew they were going to be better this year, obviously, is Texas Tech. Man, I was surprised. I mean, they took care of Houston 35-11, but they're playing good football right now.
They are, and I think that with BYU's big win against West Virginia on Friday last week, that puts them, Bachman's BYU, and then Texas Tech as the top 2 teams in the Big 12 right now. And that was a tough loss, like you said, for Iowa State, because this potentially gives Texas Tech and BYU the merger to probably play in the Big 12 championship and come out of the top there.
Yeah, I think another the game that I watched, was the Texas A&M and Mississippi State game, which I thought was going to be closer, but 31-9, I think Texas A&M took care of them. Good team, also. I mean, 3, maybe even 4 out of those top 10 teams, man, where have they been for years, right? I mean, Ole Miss, whatever.
Ole Miss.
Texas A&M, Indiana, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and Texas A&M now gets to play Florida, so that'll be a big one for them. But Mike Elko has really changed things around at Texas A&M. College Station is now relevant one more time, and it's always great to see them play well like that. But who would have thought that the top 3 teams right now, almost halfway through the season in the SEC, would be Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma? I mean, come on.
Unbelievable. Listen, I'm used to seeing LSU up there, Notre Dame.
Georgia.
Yeah. right? It's crazy to see all these other teams getting up there, right? And you're right; those three to be at the top, it's crazy. It's crazy to even say that, right? But yeah, I mean, it was a good week of college football coming up now. I think Fridays at South Florida against North Texas game. I don't think that's going to be close. I think South Florida wins that convincingly. I hope that we can bounce back and take care of Pittsburgh this week. I think another really good game coming up this week is going to be the Alabama-Missouri game. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Yeah.
I think Missouri's really shown that, now being ranked 14th, who knows? Anything could happen, especially with
they're undefeated.
Especially the way that everybody's been playing. Now, another game that I will be watching closely is going to be that Ohio State-Illinois game in Illinois. That's going to be a good game. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be better than people anticipate that being.
I hope Illinois wins. For a team, for a person that roots for a Big Ten team, I do want Ohio State off the top of the perch, But Julian just saying, is playing really good, and he had probably his best statistical game against the Minnesota team, which obviously right now is down. PJ Fleck is a good coach, but certainly on paper, Ohio State was so much better, and they showed it. But yeah, like you said, that Ohio State Illinois maybe a closer game than. Look at how Ohio State played a couple weeks ago up in Seattle against the bad Washington team. They struggled to come out of that, and if they struggled to come out of the gate good, Illinois could potentially put up some points on them.
Yeah, I think that we're going to really see what Ole Miss, not that we're going to see what they're made of this week when they go play Washington State, but I think that, no, that's a different team, but I think that.
Oh, yeah. Ole Miss plays at home against Washington State. Yeah.
Right. But I think the game that you're probably going to be watching, of course, is going to be the Indiana-Oregon game. That's going to be a huge game. I think it's going to have huge implications, too, for the playoffs. It's going to be a great game.
Curt Cignetti, the head coach at Indiana, had some high praise for Dan Lanning in his presser the other day, saying that, he's been in the game for 40 years, and he said that Dan Lanning is one of the better young, phenomenal coaches to come out in quite a while. And he has, 30-3 since he took over that team. Oregon has the longest winning streak in college football for home games and for road games now. They have a 9-game road winning streak, which is the longest in college football, and they have the longest home winning streak as well. And they get to play another top 10 team. What really hurt Oregon is something that they couldn't even control, was Penn State going out to lose against a winless UCLA team, because now their win doesn't look as good when you look at it down the line. Now, I don't know what's going on with Penn State. I don't know what happened. Nico Iamaleava was the Nico of last year when he was at Tennessee in that game. But it was unbelievable. I can't believe it. The fans at Pasadena at the Rose Bowl went out on the field. The 17 fans that they have all ran out onto the field, and they were very excited that they beat Penn State. But that makes it look bad on Oregon, does it not?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But think about this game, okay? The Oregon game's at 3:30, right? Another 3:30 game, the game that I will probably be watching, other than having the Oregon game on, because I'll watch that game too, but is the Iowa State-Colorado game. That is the game I want to see. Now, can Colorado bounce back and have a great game against Iowa State? I don't know.
It's in Boulder. So yeah. I don't know. I think they played well against BYU, right? Even though they lost to them, but then they bounced back and they had a better game against TCU this past weekend. So I think Colorado's playing a little bit better, but it's still not the expectations that everybody thought when Prime took over a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. I think that, that's a game that I want to watch this weekend, and I'm hoping for an upset. I do like Colorado. Well, I like Prime, so I do want to see what he's got for them. Now, another interesting game that you never know what's going to happen is that Georgia-Auburn game. You never know what's going to happen in Auburn at 7:30 on Saturday night. Right. It's going to be an interesting game. Let's see what other game. Ooh. Now, I know that you're going to say that a little bias here, but I also want to see the BYU Arizona game. That's an 8:00 game in Arizona.
Right.
Fafita played really good this past weekend. They took care of business. I don't know, man. I'm going to give the edge to Arizona here.
Really?
Yeah.
Even BYU is undefeated and ranked 18th, huh?
I don't know. I have a feeling. Gronk was there this past weekend, and they took care of business. But I know BYU is going to be a tough game, but I think that I'm going to give it to Arizona this game. I think that they're going to pull up that upset. That's just my thought.
If McMillan was still there, I would say, they could definitely. But, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't follow the Big 12 as much. But Hank Bachmeier, right, the quarterback who transferred over into BYU, has led them to a 5-0 start. That's kind of impressive, I think. I mean, they haven't had a good quarterback like this since Ty Detmer, I think, no, BYU's doing some really good things, and, being relevant and getting into the polls like that is pretty impressive from the team out of Provo.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I hope that Arizona has a good game. I think that if they play the way that they played this past week, I think they absolutely have a chance to win. But, again, we'll see. Any other game in college football you want to talk about?
I mean, staying in the Big Ten, I know that, Michigan is 4-1, and they get to go out to USC now on the West Coast to play a conference game. We've talked, I think, about the best games in the week. This is another one, though, that you have to keep an eye on if you're, among the top teams in the Big Ten that you're chasing, because Michigan is 4-1 and they've already lost one game. But like we were talking with Andy earlier, we mentioned Bryce Underwood, and he's been playing well. But can they go into the Coliseum, which is a tough atmosphere to play in, and beat that team? I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be maybe Michigan's hardest game up to when they play Ohio State this year. But if they can get past USC and play well in that game, I think that's going to show the country that, Michigan can seriously stick around for the Big Ten.
And listen, it's not like USC is anything to slouch about. I mean, they are 4-1, right? So they have a good record. Right. I mean, the same record actually as Michigan, and so we'll see. Right. I mean, that's also, I mean, they have the winning probability. And it says that USC is going to win 55.7%. Who knows? I mean, that's
really,
wow. That's what it has here. So we'll see.
It's hard to play in the Coliseum. That's probably because it's a home game for them.
Yeah.
If that game is at the Big House in Ann Arbor, I think you see Michigan ranked. I think with a higher percentage to win that game.
Absolutely. But yeah, those are all the games. I don't think we'll hit NFL today, but we are going to have Alfredo's new segment next week. It's going to be a baseball segment, so get ready for that one. And yeah, we'll end it at that. I think we've had a good.
The only thing I want to say about the NFL is that I think that the former 72 Dolphins again are popping champagne because no more undefeated teams. Kind of hard to believe that both Buffalo and Philadelphia lost their first games at home against teams that they should have beaten. Yeah. Denver and New England, respectively.
Yeah.
So no more undefeateds.
No more undefeateds, man. So they're popping champagne over there in Miami.
Yeah.
So the 72 Dolphins are going to be happy once again. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's been a great show. I think Andy was awesome. I think great conversation. You guys are more the people. The
high school guys.
Yeah, the high school guys. I'm more of the X's and O's. So you know what I mean. Once we get somebody in here that talks to X's and O's, will be good. But I think I'll have more to add. But you guys did an awesome job. I think Andy did a great job. Follow him on all of his socials. And thanks, man, for joining again. And we'll see you next week for your new segment. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be talking about a Lions win against the Chiefs.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I got the Lions on that one. All right, y'all.
Cheers.
Peace out, brother.
Bye, Coach.